So you're shopping for a transducer and you just want one that won't slow you down on the water. You don't need another box of features to research, you need something that drops in, fires off clean signals, and stays out of your way for years. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Lowrance 000-13560-001 is the quiet workhorse in a market full of flashy next-gen add-ons. It's not trying to be the fanciest transducer on the chart, it's the one that shows up, does the job, and lets you focus on fishing instead of troubleshooting. If you're running a Lowrance display already, this is the plug-and-play match that keeps your existing system humming without a firmware scavenger hunt. If you're mixing brands or running an older fish finder, you'll still get solid returns, but you'll want to double-check your cable and power specs first. More on that in a minute. Where this thing shines is in the daily grind. You're not setting up for a tournament, you're heading out at dawn, dropping the transducer on the transom, and expecting it to wake up with the rest of your gear. That's exactly what this model does. The cone angle and frequency are tuned for mid-range freshwater and coastal saltwater, so you're not overscanning empty water or missing the baitfish that turn into dinner. Owners who run it alongside older Lowrance units report the same clean bottom lock and fish arches without the erratic noise that creeps in when you mix mismatched transducers. If you're upgrading from a really old model, the difference is night and day. If you're swapping a newer Lowrance transducer, the gain in clarity is noticeable but not dramatic, still worth it if you want to keep your display consistent. The trade-off you'll hear about in forums is cable length. This transducer ships with a standard 20-foot cable, which is fine for most center console or bow mount setups. If you're rigging a pontoon or a deck boat with the transducer mounted farther back, you'll either need an extension or a longer aftermarket cable. That's not a flaw in the transducer itself, it's just the reality of boat wiring. A few buyers solved it with a waterproof inline connector and a 10-foot extension, but that adds a splice point you'd rather avoid. Measure twice before you mount. Once it's bedded down, you're not moving it without a drill and some patience. Another spot where expectations trip people up is power draw. This isn't a power hog, but it's not the ultra-low draw model either. If you're running a dedicated 12-volt circuit straight from the battery, you're golden. If you're sharing a noisy power bus with your trolling motor or stereo, you can pick up some interference on the screen. A small inline noise filter fixes it, but it's one more thing to buy and mount. Most anglers don't notice it until they compare side by side with a pricier transducer, then they realize the extra cost buys cleaner power management, not necessarily clearer returns. Who should buy this? If you already own a Lowrance display and you want a no-fuss, same-day ship transducer that drops in and works, this is the safe pick. Weekend anglers, kayak fishermen, and tournament guys who swap gear between boats all love the consistency. It's also a solid fallback if your primary transducer takes a hit on a rocky shoreline. Order it today, mount it tomorrow, and you're back on the water. Who should skip it? If you're running a non-Lowrance system and you're not willing to verify cable compatibility, look elsewhere. If you need a transducer that can handle 300+ feet of water with ultra-sharp down imaging, this isn't the one. It's built for everyday use, not deep-water structure hunting. And if you're the type who wants every cable to be plug-and-play without extensions or filters, measure your run first or budget for an extra 10 feet of cable before you click buy. The value isn't in the bells and whistles. It's in the fact that Lowrance has been making this exact model for years and still offers white glove service if you need help. That kind of continuity matters when you're standing on the deck at 5 a.m. and the fish are biting. You're not paying for tomorrow's tech, you're paying for today's reliability. So if you're ready to stop over analyzing specs and just get back on the water, this transducer is the straight line path. Link is in the description if you want to check the details and lock in your order.